All what a time to suddenly need to come. Welcome to another Art and Minecraft stream. Today we are working on some token art. Off stream, I have wrapped up this beautiful penguin. The small, child-sized penguins who have not quite reached maturity. More specifically, the Doar, as they are known in Spelljammer. Because I wanted to, see how reasonable I can get to a fuzzy creature. Before I started going, you know what, yeah, I will make token art on stream. Because, you know what, this was not easy. In fact, I do need to make some adjustments for the feet. At least some amount of, outline. Which I think if I just go... let's see, stroke... do a gradient... which is not visible because of the mask I put on, that's right. Okay, let's release the mask. Oh. That. Okay, for first off, this stroke is way too thick. Oh. Let's start with just a 0.5. Give some definition, not quite enough. 1.3. Okay, that's good. Alright, before we... well, actually, we'll mess with the color. Start with just a solid black, and then solid black clear with gradient. I need to do this just so it does not go over. Perfect. Alrighty. Does not need to be a lot, but it does need to kind of fade into the stomach fluff of the young Doar. Let's see. Alright, how much? Right, 1.3, that's right. We have to put that stroke on here as well. Gradient. But we're gonna have the gradient. Why does it default to this green? Weird. Anyway. There we go. Alright, we're gonna have it just perfectly match. Perfectly match this one, more or less. Oh. And it should work well enough. Because that's just the mask layer. And then we come here, we set the mask. And there we go, the outline. Still visible from this zoomed out position. And while this line might even be a bit thicker than we need, it's good enough for now, the mask. But yeah, there we go. Now we've got baby. Little baby Doar. All their slightly fluffy, but not currently screaming glory. Alright, actually I need to move that over. But yeah, next up, let's see, though we are going to zoom it out for the next form, we can keep a lot of these. Right, I was thinking of kind of rainbow gradient for the lower of them, but I just couldn't get it to look good. So we're not copying that one. For now, we will copy the feet, which I have named here as baby shoes, though you can't quite see it. It just makes me laugh. The eye, the coloration near the beak, head, both arms, and body. So copy that, make that visible, make the adult, which I just have the adult beak visible, and paste it all in here. Beak having been stuck behind. But yeah, we're going to need to adjust a lot of this stuff. We're going to rename baby shoes to business shoes, because again, it makes me laugh. If I'm the only one who can see them, I might as well get a good chuckle out of them. Let's see. Smirk. But yeah, this This beak was actually my first attempt, and I thought, that looks too smug for what is supposed to be a young penguin. I thought, oh hey, there we go. We just make a copy of it. Say when we do adult penguin. Also, speaking of, we have some reference. Let's see. For this layer that we're going to work on, we're going to make it just... not that quite. See, there we go. Like this. And I put them over. We can see that proportion-wise, we also need to have... Body needs to be a bit longer. There's body pudgy. We can bring in some. We no longer have the baby fat. And they will also not be quite as fuzzy. I can just, for the moment at least, remove blur from everything that has it. We got the foreground arm. Keep it there for the moment. Make both of those non-visible. The head will also need some work. But yeah, we're going to do the first Doar token based on the erect crested penguin, if I remember the name correctly. Crested. Yeah, we're going to start with just getting the kind of like general proportions of it all kind of close before we'll move it off to the side and get the actual minor details done. Get the beak. The beak will have to be shrunk as well, so I'm going to make another copy of that for later ones. First, there to duplicate. Make this one visible. Just put it between the two. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Doar in a Spelljammer, because they're a minor race, still see them from time to time, but there's just so much character to them. It's just... God, they are a merchant race that thinks everyone is out to get them. Not like hate them, like sees them as business rivals, when a lot of them is just like, they don't even know who you are. They have no reason to think ill of you or be out to get you. But who's gonna need facts for that? Who needs facts? Because of course, if they were really out to get you, they would not admit that fact. They would want you to be caught unawares. And yeah, it's just funny to me. The interactions. They're a psionic race, technically. With their main ability, just, when they see prospective buyers, they just kind of gang up on them. Work together to get that sale, god damn it. Let's see where... That a little forward. Yeah, we're just going to have to reshape these to get a better shape of the crested look. I think proportionally, we just need to get this head in now. There you go, falls top brow, we can easily get that chin out. Alright. Body, we need to do this, kind of puff up their chest a bit. We can move this one up. Make this... That's actually quite close, yeah. We'll leave it that. I think we need to move this one up here so we can better get the bottom shapes to match. Do I want to make the tail a separate layer? I think so. So we'll keep shaping out of here. Here we go. They get a bit more actual neck. We'll need to shape the head to fix. Come on. Drag it. There we go. Not all perfect, but quite close indeed. Oh, except for this. Got a bit too much belly still. Put this down there. Alright, the coloring of the face also definitely needs a change. Yeah, I think we've reached a point where we can move these two away from each other. Get a better look. Okay. So the arm shape is definitely different from the baby penguin I did. I also need to keep the kind of short, stubby fingers look. Let's see, and I think I'm going to have to do a separate layer for this portion of the neck, just so I can get the curve here correct. Yeah, I think I could fake this pretty well with one, but yeah, I'm going to need another layer there. So, we'll start with the head, because the head is going to be kind of fun. Alright, so, close that baby folder. Beak, here we go. So the way their beak looks, it's more flat, with a kind of more steeper curve there. Like that. With this sort of coming out to meet it. Which I think will exaggerate to kind of look like a chin. Keep that. But yeah, kind of, the way I made this beak, it's mostly an oval, but it tips back here and then back and forth, so I can kind of adjust that to give looks. There we go. You can see there. But there is this ridge here. I'm not going to go into that. I think I'm going to keep change to a gradient with darker here and kind of a light yellow highlight. And with another layer I can do this kind of triangular blue patch. It should be steeper, I think. So this is a bit more of a sudden in-turn, like that. One second. Sorry, my throat just feels itchy. Not like an allergy itch, but like there's something in the back of my throat that is just refusing to come off my uvula. It is annoying. But I shall persevere. Okay, but yeah, with the clip like that, we put this in here. I think we should also adjust the way the mouth is so it's less of a smirk and more of a kind of like lightly disapproving, which I think means coming down here. Yeah, a bit more, because that line is a bit too thick. Also, we want a bit more sudden downturn here. Like that. There we go. Yeah, we definitely want the line thicker towards the back, because that feels more grumpy than a heavy line at the front. Nope. So need to... There you go, because they don't have lips, but that feels visually similar to kind of like biting at the upper lip. Hey, Tommy Sass, welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy this wonderful art stream for another 30 or so minutes. Before we go over to Minecraft, yeah, we are trying to create a penguin token. Well, a Dowar token, which is just a penguin race with psionic powers and intelligence. Very fun merchant race from Spelljammer. Right now we're doing the erect crested. Well, thank you. I do try. I will never be great doing art like this, but so long as it communicates what I'm trying to do, that's good enough for me. Don't have to be great at art to truly enjoy it. Let's see. That's wrong. We need this. There you go. Yeah, kind of more like a red-orange is what this looks like. That is our base. Here's the gradient tool. Over to here. I think there, okay. Oh, come on, let me create, there we go. Do it a little darker and a bit of gray to help with the shadows. Expand the shadows, I need to do this, that. That's pretty good. This outline. Need to do another little bit on the outside here, just so the highlight does not bleed too far down. Is that too peachy? Yeah, we'll put some that down. This red. Wait, no, it's because that's right here. Now we can expand that down. Perfect. That's really good. I think if we just get a little bit of angle for this, that'll look so much better. Yeah. That is nice. We can't do too much, but also, like, this is going to be the size of the token. It's probably only going to be like the chest up to the head to show off the race, but yeah, I think that's enough detail for just the beak portion. Let's see, the head is going to be real easy because it's just solid color, so it'll be more about shaping the quote-unquote chin here and then making the second neck area just so I can maintain that curve correctly. So, go. Actually, is this right size? Yeah, it's close enough. So we're gonna first just duplicate that, because we do have to have this little blue patch, and we're gonna add a yellow highlight. But if we just make another layer, let's see. I don't think we need a stroke on this one. We'll leave it for now, actually, because the stroke should be on the top of most layer. But Phil will plop it down this. First we'll find this kind of... Ooh, that's actually good. We'll reduce saturation, bring up the highlight, because it's not going to be a major color. That should do. Can we do another gradient? We flip it so it's outside. That's actually really good. Right, and then the other side needs to be a yellow. See, it's firmly in the yellow zone. Let's see, was it... I think we'll search for a yellow that's pretty close to that. Do it by doing this. It looks a bit too green with going into the blue like that, so we should counter it by going into the red hues. Yeah, there we go. That way the gradient does not kind of dissolve that from us. Then what we do here is right smack dab in the middle. No gradient whatsoever. We do that again over here. Set to 0, because then we can manipulate how far it goes by just changing where we have these 0 gradients. And finally, let's see. There we go, because we want the yellow here, blue on that side. So we need enough height so it only hits good there. We in like so. Oh yeah, that's good. And the yellow needs to be really brought in. It's not quite that bright. In fact, we'll probably reduce the opacity of the yellow itself. Let's see. It's down because it's more on the tip there. There. Reducing this opacity. That's actually looking pretty snazzy. I'm liking with how that came out. Let's see, in fact, I think for the sake of exaggeration, we should also make it a bit taller. Let's see. We call this highlights. And you select both and kind of expand like that. That's going real nice. Now let's do a test. What does it look like if I remove the stroke on the bottom? No change, so yeah. We keep the stroke on the top. And that is fine. In worst case, if we want to kind of dull that even more, we can just reduce the opacity of that layer itself. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. It would help if I had the right layer. There we go. There you go. Just reducing the opacity by 10 really helps that blend a little better. I think with this one we should. Dang it, wrong one. Okay, we can do this, that. Oh, did not mean to make another one there. I'm going to straighten that line out. Both of these here. Oh. Come on. There we go. Just so there's a bit more overlap there for the kind of displeased look. Right, head. We're going to keep this kind of like very dark purple for the base color. But don't want to come in many colors of the rainbow, which I've limited to like kind of gemstone like colors like emerald and blue and ruby. Sorry, blue sapphires and rubies. Let's see where. Oh, that's a stroke color. Alright, and again, we need to reduce blur because they're no longer the soft, fuzzy babies. Maybe keep it like just around 10 instead of the 15 I had, because there's a little bit of fuzz. Not a lot, but... One sec. Gosh, I really wish I knew what was making my throat tickle. Really feels like drinking enough fluid should have just removed that itch in the back of my throat, but it is not. Okay, we don't need the whites. Except as we could use as the highlight for up here, actually. Now let's do that. Make that the highlight. Let's see. I want a bit more out, like so. No, flip do. We'll have this very light. Purple be the highlight. And we don't need this white anymore. good. I think we darken up both of these just because it is the kind of mature penguin. That helps with that. Highlight need to be a lot more. Yeah, I like that. We will keep this kind of, oh, yeah, it's trying to move this whole layer. We will keep this kind of slight highlight here, though, because it does help separate the beak from the fur itself. I don't want it to blend too much. The eye, however, really blends in. All we see is this kind of highlight around the bottom, and I want to change that. Let's see. Adult. Right. So I think I do that with the stroke layer here. Let's see. Yeah. See, not quite that thick. I think this is the way to go with it. See, remove the dash lines and do this. And all I need to do is make the stroke itself a little darker, but it does help kind of pronounce the definition of the eye there. Give it more contrast against the dark background. Do I want to keep the eyes pure black? I think that's the big question. Okay, so that is the eye. What if we introduce... There you go, some eye shine. Not sure why it's got that dot there, though. Why is it expanding that dot? Oh, it's because there's nothing there, that's why. Okay, we'll do. Don't quite want that much. There we go. Yep, that looks good. Now how about the outline of the eye itself? Kind of extend it like this. Rounded. No, rounded. Okay. There you go. Made it a bit more kind of blocky rather than a pure oval. Because, you know, round shapes tend to be represent like innocence or childishness or even just being a kinder character. So kind of like squaring it up, giving some more rounded triangles doesn't quite take away the kind or silliness that is, you know, a talking, intelligent penguin race, but definitely makes them look more mature. Then the shape of the head, which I think we need to get out to here. This kind of head shape. I think we want to bring it down, make the top almost look kind of flat, square. And have to adjust this some, give it a bit of a forehead. So much sheer drop there. It rounds out at the front. Like this, yeah. Like a... if the Penguin from at least the original animated series for Batman was a penguin himself. Big, rotund, not necessarily fat, but showing off they're very well off. They can afford tailors for custom sizes. See, this does need to be adjusted. Oh, I haven't saved in a while. I should do that. Okay. I think maybe also lighten up this a little bit just so you can see the color in it. There you go. That kind of gives it more of the ridge. And now it's something completely different. By different, I mean new. We're going to make the kind of feathered eyebrow. Which... this will be a little trickier, because we really can't use the stroke to give an outline to it to make it more defined against the background, just with how light the color is. Otherwise it'll just look weird. At least at the scale thing that I usually work in here. There we go. And sides like that. So first we need to like I said earlier, rounded shapes tend to, well, in media at least, tend to depict a more infantile or innocent character. So we're going to try and use very minimal actual curves here. Like we're going to have some along the bottom edge, because we can use the gradient layer to create a kind of fuzzy effect down here, because that's where it's actually meeting the head, help it blend in, but the top, where it's supposed to be kind of like sticking out from the head, we'll stick to more straight lines. You have to do like that and that. See, I think these need to be a little thicker. Not quite uniform, but kind of give a pattern to them, I think. Like this. Here. This is where it starts going straight. And not quite the same shape, but close enough it'll be recognizable. Then we will color pick that and just make it lighter. There we go. Alright, with the R's we need to expand scale to about there, yeah. Though we should thin these up to match it better. pretty good. And then we gradient. I think it's set down to white. What we're going to do is reduce the, what's this one, saturation? Yeah, saturation down to more of a lighter gray. Off that tool. Here we go. Alright. Go to start. A bit more to a true yellow. That, and then right at the very tip. There we go. Very tips. Will be this kind of actual whitish gray. Looks elegant, looks refined, he looks a little bit pissed. But you know, he's a business penguin and people are looking down on him. Literally, all the time. He just can't stand it. Yeah, we'll let this one kind of match the curvature of the eye. That, so that's a straight line. Yeah, that looks good. Now let's just skew this a little bit. There you go. Just because that angle looks a little bit better. Let's see, and that still follows the eye for the most part, so that's good. You got this kind of tip, which we can probably just one more curve here. Oh, why is there two spots there? Hey, Bringo, welcome, welcome. Now I know to expect another thrown item at me. Perhaps a Wilhelm scream as well. But yeah, as you can see, we are working on a crested penguin. Today is Kill 6 Billion Demons. Isn't that a comic series? That doesn't sound like a game, but you know, if you want to make a game of killing 6 billion demons, go right for it. Unless you mean you're going to play Doom or something. I understand there was a recent release that came out for that, though I heard it was very well received. One. Yeah, we want that above the eyelid. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the comic. It's, weirdly enough, it's one of those comics I found out by reading another comic that made reference to it. Girl Power, the superhero comic, if anyone else is familiar with it. So they made nerdy reference to that. It's like, that can't be real, is it? The name, that kind of generic sounding. So, oh, no, it apparently is. The Noodle Seller's daughter has a score to settle? Ooh. Well, you know, who am I to stop the daughter of a noodle seller? Alright, this, I think a bit more rotate. Alright. Then, make this out here. This to there. Oh, not what I was trying to do. Alright. Let's put this back up at the top because I need to simplify the shape. Seeing as we are not going to see a lot of this being behind the head, we'll just straight up delete all these. Oh, missed one. Just say straight line there. Perfect. Now behind the head, and there we go. We have the head of our erect crested penguin. So chosen because I asked someone in my Discord, it's like, hey, anyone have a favorite penguin? They said crested one, and this is the funniest named crested penguin. They are erect at all times, and this image just makes them look so pissed. Maybe the noodle seller's daughter will succeed, maybe she won't, which is fair. Excuse me. Very fair when the goal is 6 billion demons. I mean, fuck, that's a lot more than the 1 million lions people keep trying to put against Pokemon. Alright, what we need... So, I already said we need to make another neck layer here. I think what we're gonna do... here it is. Body, we're gonna make 2 copies of the body. And we're gonna make 2 copies of this particular oval. Check. Yeah. And what we're gonna do, make that fully visible again. What we're gonna do is one of these, do this top one. Oh wait, shit, I forgot I need to turn these into path. There we go. Alright, first one we combine with, there it is, the intersection. Means we now have just this section of the neck. The other one, come down to this body pudgy, and we say remove the difference. There we go. Now you can kind of see a faint line here, which we can easily undo. I just, here it is. Neck fluff, we'll call it. All we have to do is just expand it down a little bit, and as we reshape it, everything will be more or less in place. There we go. We'll keep a little curve there so it still goes to the back well enough. And there you go. Neck fluff can go behind head again. Perfect. Look at that. And we didn't have to create an additional new shape and then erase the underneath stuff. It's ideal. Let's see. Oh, apparently Noodlesel's daughter is not the one with that title. I'm assuming that's an L, not an I, so I, Yasun, as the comments know her, is the one with the title. For a few seconds at least, the Yanga the second is safe, or is that Yanga IL? Oh, so it is Al Yasun. Is it also Yanga Il, then, in pronunciation? Okay. It's the one thing I don't like about fonts, that the uppercase I is so often... Oh, it is Yanga the second. God. Yeah, I don't like how so often capital I is the exact same shape as a lowercase l. It makes things... It makes reading some things in places difficult, like, you know, Illinois, if you're not familiar with it already. But yeah, neck fluff. We need to match this curve. I think what we're going to do for the color on this one, I mean, obviously, this purple is going to become this dark one. So we'll just go ahead and do that to ensure they match. We also need there's already that. Where's... Oh, because it's still there. Okay. I was wondering why it wasn't popping up correctly. Okay, we do this to expand it some. Oh wait, no, I've actually got this the wrong direction. I want the lighter tones to be here in the middle. Oh god, I'm gonna have to flip the entire one, huh? Okay, well that outside one is just pure white, so that's easy. No? Wait. Oh! Like this. That's right. We're gonna do that because it's gonna be easier to fix. Holy shit, I made that one long. Okay. That. Let's see, it's kind of an extreme curve. Let's put this up. Let's see, also, the Celestial Alliance has some awesome members. Do tell. What other awesome members other than Yamga II, Yamga II, do they count among them? Let's see. I might have to reshape this boundary just so it doesn't get this dark line. Tedious but possible. I really want the more defined curves. I can't have that too deep. That one. Do we need this gray actually? I don't think we do. Nope. Oof. Always scared when you do that. Okay. Yeah, that looks fine. Let's see. Another member of the Celestial Alliance is Miaman Sor, Queen of the Ayman Shan, Captain of the Godship Paraga. Very impressive title. I'll give them that. I would not want to mess with someone who is the captain of a godship, Braga. Because they might just be full of it. They might also be very accurately on a godship. Frankly, I'm not sure I want to find out the answer to such a stark difference in things. But yeah, that looks good. Let's see, this gradient is number 87. So we'll go to the pudgy body. Gradient 87, there we go. So I think about here should be good. Tilted, and this down more. About like this, because we're going to alter the shape to bring that up. Which actually easy way to do that. Make this above neck fluff. And just expand as needed. I'm going to start with this here. Oh, forgot to make it a corner first. Might as well do both those. Corner, expand out. Okay, so not quite there. If we do that actually looks pretty clean. Then we do the same thing. Oh, this to another corner. There we go. That actually, what if we? that. I want to actually drag this. Just to kind of like extend it out like it's a stomach. Very kind of opulent, successful merchant. Kind of plays into why we have this kind of light shadow here. Like their gut is just kind of bursting at the seams a little bit. Making their minuscule pecs look more like man boobs. I think that actually goes pretty well. Yeah, that is better than I expected. Let's see. God ship is an airship made of a dead god and fueled by devils. Horrifying. I have the person with a particular title you forget, but it looks like some sort of leader. This could be president or admiral of this celestial republic. And captain of the god ship Yanga 2. Leader of the entire alliance, which is a very precarious position to be in politically. I say as someone unfamiliar with the series. But yeah, it's, if you are the leader of an entire alliance, that does kind of mean that if someone goes, hey, if we take out the leader, everything else is going to kind of fall apart, actually might be true. Not because of lack of other leaders, but in history, political alliances with one particular leader as the head, especially of a republic, if you fall, sometimes sometimes the other members of the alliance become vultures, and it's like, well, now there's no competition to take over their shit. Oh yeah, I'm not suggesting like they're the true and only leader of the alliance, just like what I've seen in historical events and works of fiction that actually study historical events. That tends to be the case. Because what is an alliance if not a form of a ceasefire? Alrighty. I actually need to bring this in just so that darkness doesn't creep into that bottom. Round out that, and we do still need to make the tail feathers, because I decided to make it a bit more. Oh, actually, if we're going the route of he kind of looks overweight, we should have another one here, just so we can like give some more heft to the form. Yeah, that's without even getting the flipper in there. But yeah, no, this crested penguin is looking good. I think, because we're right on 4, but I did start a little late. We're just going to work on one of the arms. Here we go, the foreground arm, which should be above the body stuffs. There you go. Oh. Should be... Actually, I think we should flip it. Yeah, and then we just restructure this arm bit here, just the way the flipper curves connect compared to the baby form we made earlier. They also seem to be a bit skinnier, though we should actually keep that a little wide, just because we're doing a kind of more heavy-set penguin. Then we'll kind of bring some more of this underside curve here. Back into curve, on curve. There we go. Alrighty. This gradient will be a little trickier, just because we do need some sort of stroke to help differentiate the fingers in there. Let's see. Hop down to 87, kind going to get in position before doing some alterations. Oh, that's why. That's only that gradient. Okay, we need to separate these two, just so they're not getting into each other's spaces. Oh, shoot. Don't know how that happened. Probably a shortcut I've never used before. Yeah, we'll have this turn into... No, not direct. That looks too meh. There we go. Because there is a bit here. If we just kind of like span this bit by bit, we can kind of get this outline on both sides that they typically have. More there. That's good. Then the stroke, I think we need to turn into a lighter gray, just so it's still visible. Oh, it's because it's on 0. There we go. I'm going to leave it at 50% opacity, just so it's not standing out too much. That outside of the arm is not too distracting. There we go, and we no longer need the old background arms. We just duplicate, put it over. Actually, no, it's not even visible on this one, so we're not going to bother. But aside from make some changes to the feet so they better match, that guy's more or less done. Because they aren't getting a full body view. They'll, let's see, we'll do this, we'll do save, just in case. Actually, we'll do a full-on duplicate of this folder, just in case. I'm a little scared. Oh. They're more or less just going to be a token, like here, the circular border. So yeah, that is more than enough of a base. We can always go back and do some color gradient changes to represent different doors of the erect crested variety. But that's them, and that's our done for today. Yeah, before we take our brief break between this and the Minecraft server silliness we'll do in a bit, let's catch up on what else is happening with this alliance Barango's sharing with us. Let's see. Everyone is rallying under Al-Yasin. Niave, I'm going to go with Niave because it feels right, is in charge of the Republic, or at least its military. 71 white chain is a different important position with some very complicated political bullshit going on, not wanted by either, caused by the people. It is more accurate to say that the Yamga is the flagship. Nathor of Nathor, distant bloodkin to Mammon, captain of the godship Cowcat of the Red Scarf Group's 4th Battle Division. Point is, so many groups, including Cat Vikings. Giant fleet of godships. The Uman of the Heretic Restorationists of the Temple of the Eye, which is a title. Yeah, it's like any title that has 3 of those in it is... It just feels so ridiculous. I'm sure there are some, like, in actual history that were like that, but it still feels ridiculous. But yeah, on that note of Uman of the Heretic Restorationists of the Temple of the Eye, we will go ahead and take a short break. Let's see. It'll be a 5-minute timer. Get some drinks, get some snacks, use the restroom, and we will hop into a Minecraft server and just mess around in mini games today, because my throat is feeling weird. So I'm less likely to get caught up in the middle of description of some lore of the world and shit I've done in the Minecraft server. So first off, we need to BRB. Turn off desktop audio and get the timer up before we actually head on out. Okay, where is timer? Alright, let me make sure it's visible first. There we go. Looks a little weird at the bottom. There we go. We'll put it up top there. I will see you guys in a few.